Previously on Geek Speak.
So that's it. We're done for this year. Again, we're not done forever. Last year, we said that we'll be right back, and it took a while for us to get back. Not this time. We're going to be gone the whole month of December, which is what, 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half weeks. You won't miss it because you'll be going through Christmas, New Year's, all that stuff. You won't really have time to listen to the show anyway.
No.
We're targeting January 9th. I will be a year older because it's the Monday after my birthday.
Oh.
Now, when we come back, like I said, we're going to have a brand new name. Not drastic, and you can still find us by putting in Geek Speak on the search engines. It'll come up. I'll give you a hint what it is. We're not on the radio station, so the new name will be obvious. So there you go. New co-host?
No. New female co-host.
Hey, there's a hint.
Yeah.
See you next year. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. We'll see you next year. Bye.
Bye.
2012 is a year where everything will change. So in the spirit of change, the Geek Speak Radio Show transforms into the Geek Speak Show. This is now the Geek Speak Show. And here we go.
At my signal, unleash hell. God bless the geek.
Rules. We don't think so.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Geek Speak Show.
Please make a note of it.
This is the show where you hear everything geek culture.
Have you noticed we've been sharing our culture with you all morning?
Talking movies, comics, video games, TV shows, all from a geek point of view. People who get it, get it. If it's geek, we'll speak about it here on the Geek Speak Show. Here are your hosts, Henry and Romo.
And here we are. Welcome to 2012. Welcome to the Geek Speak Show, the show formerly known as the Geek Speak Radio Show.
Yeah, no brainer there. Just dropped the word radio. But thank God I'm alive. 2012, new year. Can't wait. What?
December 21st.
Oh, I thought we... What?
Not January 1st, 2012.
Oh, my
December
bad.
21st is when we all go...
Oh, all right.
Supposedly. We'll see.
I thought
what
it was in
happens.
January.
But if that's the case, then we can't see Star Trek 2 in 2013. Or The Hobbit
in
Part 2.
3D?
No, not in 3D.
I thought it was.
No. Post-converted in 3D. See, JJ Smart.
I mean The Hobbit, though.
Yeah, that's in 3D, but I'm going to watch it in 2D anyway.
In IMAX theater.
Yeah, you can tell. This is The Geeks. How you doing? I'm Henry. He's Romo. Happy New Year to you, to all of you out there. Yeah, it is a new show, The Geek Speak Show. Everything is the same. Romo's still here. I'm still here. Producer Damien's out somewhere producing. Everybody else behind the scenes is still behind the scenes. We're still going to talk to your favorite actors, artists, comic book artists,
Directors.
WonderCon, Comic-Con. David Glanzer will come on. We may even have some passes for you guys for WonderCon and Comic-Con, especially WonderCon, because you may have seen it on our YouTube page. I spoke with David about WonderCon being in San Francisco. Oh, breaking news, by the way, in case you still haven't heard.
It's not in San Francisco.
WonderCon is in Anaheim this year.
Yeah, so we're going to have a long, good trip down over there.
David said it's not a permanent thing. It's only because Moscone is doing renovations and they decided to tell them at the last second, typical San Francisco, at the last second that, oh, hey, by the way, you guys can't have it this year. Oh, okay. So they moved to Anaheim. Instead of not having it, they just moved it to Anaheim. I'll tell you all right now, first, two things. One, tickets are on sale right now as we speak. WonderCon.org, or go to our link section. It's on there. You can get your passes for WonderCon 2012. Second, and Romo, you'll probably agree with me, may be a good thing, maybe not. It depends on how you see it. Because it's in Southern California, I expect it to be a lot like San Diego Comic-Con.
I was going to say sold out.
That too, but I mean...
well, yeah, it's so close to Hollywood that everyone is going to make...
there.
It will be there, yeah. And so, I mean, we're going to have the whole cast of... I predict the whole cast of the Avengers are going to be there.
Hello. It's right next to Disney.
Yeah, so... I mean, just expect great things for this year's WonderCon in Anaheim.
Like I said, the bad thing about that is also everybody else is going to. I mean, the public will be there also.
It's going to be it's going to be
30,000 people like last year's Comic-Con.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like standing in long lines. That's why I love WonderCon, especially here in San Francisco, because it's smaller. It's not. Well,
he
full
doesn't
of people.
want to say it, but he loves it because we get press passes, so we don't have to wait in line with you people.
No, it means I don't have to travel that long just to go to a place like WonderCon.
Yeah. So again, it is in Anaheim this year. We may have some passes for you guys, and even passes for Comic-Con. Finally, I mean, hello. Why wouldn't we have passes for that before?
Yeah.
It's the Super Bowl of geeks. So like I said, everything is the same except this week, but a new website is coming soon. If you're listening to us right now, obviously it's still on geekspeakradioshow.com. That will go away probably by next week. We're having our web guy redesigning everything.
Yeah.
And you'll love it when you see it, the new design on the thing.
You know, I mentioned last year before we went to break about a new voice, a girl voice. Now, how's it?
I can't do that.
You can't, of course, but
now that's too much of a challenge for me. Even I can't. I do voices, but I can't do a girl voice.
I wasn't going there. But I mean, you know, what about? Is there any possibility for, let's say, new girl voice for the show? Because I've been looking for people, but are we ready?
Are you ready?
I'm totally ready.
Yeah. We all talked about this. We had a big powwow here after during our holiday break. And we agree that there's a lot of podcasts out there that cover things like this, and a lot of shows. They're more pop culture, really, than entertainment kind of shows. But what they're all missing, with few exceptions, is the fangirl's voice, the Geek Girl's voice. Last year, we met all the phenomenal planners of Geek Girl Con in Seattle. Went off great, the first one for them. Hi, Jen. That's one thing.
There's a lot of Geek Girls, too.
There's no voices, no female voice heard on shows like this, on our show especially. That's one thing that we really were missing, have been missing from the beginning, going on 3 years now. Had a few, but they
weren't real geeks.
No,
they were imposters.
Imposters?
I'm just joking. I just had no, but they were spies.
Going with that, but yeah, no, but we need somebody who can actually hold their own here. Hold their own meaning, discuss the geek stuff the same way that I do and Romo does, and discuss not just with us here or on the show, but also with the guests that we have. Talk to Christopher Nolan, talk to Chloe Moretz, talk to Rod Roddenberry, David Glanzer, everybody that comes on. Go ahead and throw in your 2 cents or $20 worth of geekdom in there.
Yeah.
So we all decided, why don't we get a Geek Girl co-host? Easier said than done. Because
I'm all for it.
Yeah, you were, but we couldn't find anybody.
Nope.
Yeah, we have friends like Romo said that obviously because
you'd be surprised. A lot of them like going to movies, like going to Comic-Con, WonderCon,
but they don't like being here in front of the microphone.
I think I know why. Because when you're so close talking to the movers and shakers behind the scenes, like let's just say, if we have Christopher Nolan on the show, I mean they'll probably be quiet, in shock. Don't know what to say because it's we have a star in front of us. Well, you do pretty well.
That's because we've never had Christopher Nolan here. But wait till we do later this year. Yeah, I'm looking at you, producer Damien. That's a hint over there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start a search. Let's make it official. We're going to start a search for a Geek Girl co-host. That's another new thing that we're going to do this year on the Geek Speak Show.
Search for a Geek Girl.
Well, you'll be a star once you start being on here and you get, you rub shoulders and whatever else you want to rub. That's up to you. But with the stars out there, once you do that, you will become a star. But here's how we're going to do it. I set up an email, geekgirl@thegeekspeakshow.com.
Yep.
What you do there is send me your name, obviously.
Where you're from.
Yeah. And put in some audio or video, or it could be a link to a YouTube page if you have that. And just shows your skills, shows what qualifies you to be a Geek Girl.
Yeah, and they don't have to
co-host.
be in San Francisco or local. They could be all across the world.
Well, it would help if they were here, only so you can take advantage of all the perks that we get through this show. Like I was saying, Roma, we get press passes to WonderCon and all the cons.
All the cons, yeah.
We also get movie screenings. We get to cover special events at museums and a lot of cool things. It would be nice if we could have you,
because they'll be able to experience it.
Yeah, that, and once you get on the show, people will know you the way they know Roma, the way they know me, producer Damien, everybody. They'll want to know you. They'll want to meet you. So it's easier if you're here. If you're not, that's fine too. Like Romo said, we do have something called Skype. Yes, we did come to the 21st century finally.
The internet.
And so we can Skype you. It sounds like you're here. You guys have heard us when we do the interviews. And we did it with Jamie, and he was in
Australia.
In the UK. No, the Australia was the Mana Bar, the cool video game bar. But they both sounded like they were right here with us.
Yeah.
So we can do it that way. But that's what you got to do. Geek Girl at thegeekspeakshow.com. Send me an email there. Let me know your name, like I said. Send us a link to either a YouTube page or make a special YouTube just for us. Not the page, but just the video. Or just send the video, a link to a video or audio where you describe yourself, why you're a geek. It impresses.
Just pretty much just, why are you a geek?
And we will pick
open canvas
one
there.
of you to be here with us.
Yeah.
And not just talk to you and me, but like I said, talk to Chloe Moretz, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, producer Damien.
And we'll probably have them on the air too, right? To talk to them,
Yeah, of course.
kind of do like what they do on American Idol in front of the judges, and we're the judges, and they have to talk to us and convince us.
Yeah, except we'll actually have someone with talent on this show.
Ooh, burn. Hear that, Ryan Seacrest?
Yeah, exactly. So, again, welcome back to the Geek Speak Show. This is the show formerly known as the Geek Speak Radio Show. Yeah, I know you're on the same website, but like I said, that will disappear next week. We'll just keep checking our Facebook. New Facebook, new Twitters. There's a link to it. See where you're listening. Go down below. There it is right there. The little button that says T, that's Twitter. The other one that says YT, that's YouTube.
Yeah, and also follow us on iTunes as well.
Yeah, you can subscribe on there, and you will never miss an episode. Of course, you never do anyway, but tell a friend and
spread the word.
So, biggest thing we're doing is, like I said, we're starting that search for the Geek Girl co-host.
Can't wait.
We're not getting rid of you. Don't get that look on your face.
No, I'm fine.
Unless she's really, really good. Then maybe, what do we need Romo for? He can go back behind the scenes. You can produce with producer Damien.
Hey, you never know. This new girl could probably have her own show.
Yeah. And if that's the case, then we won't see her here anyway.
Yeah.
So, just to prove to you guys that there are Geek Girls, real living, breathing ones out there, we're going to talk to one next.
Nice.
Take a quick break, reset everything here, and you'll meet a Geek Girl.
The Geek Speak Show will be back in a moment.
The Geek Speak Show is looking for the missing element, the Geek Girl's voice. Do you know the difference between Kim Kardashian and a Kardashian? Do you know that Han shot first? Use these and other amazing facts and discussions with the boys, and especially with all the awesome guests on the Geek Speak Show.
All you've got to do is send an email to geekgirl at thegeekspeakshow.com with a link to your YouTube page, or send us an MP3 where you explain why you should be our Geek Girl co-host. It'd be great if you're here in the San Francisco Bay Area so we can have you in studio, but we can Skype it if you're not. So if you're a Geek Girl, or if you know one, and you're ready to show your knowledge to the world, send an email to geekgirl at thegeekspeakshow.com with a link to your YouTube page or an MP3 telling us why you should be our Geek Girl co-host. We hope to have our Geek Girl co-host in place by March, just in time for WonderCon 2012.
In a perfect world, all the geeks get the girls.
Now back to the Geek Speak Show.
Dude, what song is that?
What?
What song's that?
We're in about songs. Hey, everybody, we're back. Welcome to the Geek Speak Show 2012. Yes, we're still alive.
I know we are.
Romo's all worried about that. But anyway, welcome back to the Geek Speak Show. Yes, the show formerly known as the Geek Speak Radio Show. We are still here. It's still the same people. But as you heard in the last segment, we just kicked off a search for a Geek Girl co-host. Send them to geekgirl at thegeekspeakshow.com. Put an audio file, put a link to your YouTube, whatever it is, just impresses, like I said earlier.
Yeah, I mean, just a simple, this is what I like, this is what I'm into.
Yeah, and like I said, they do exist. They are real. They are alive. We know some. Romo knows some.
Just because you're a geek, this is for the guys. I mean, they do exist. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of geeks don't talk to them, but
they actually do know stuff like you do. Probably even more sometimes, believe it or not.
Yeah, they do.
Matter of fact, let's prove it to you. Right now, let's talk to Raychul. Raychul, hi. Welcome to the Geek Speak Show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
No problem. So, tell everybody about yourself. When did you know you were a geek girl?
I think it was all because my dad got me started in it. Like, he brought home the Atari 2600, and when I was really little, I was like 5. And I've been gaming since then. And then the way we spent time together was on Sundays. We'd sit down and we'd either watch the Star Wars trilogy or we'd watch Indiana Jones. And then my mom, she's into comics, so she kind of got me interested in those. So I was kind of predestined to be a geek from the moment I was born.
Yeah, my kind of parents.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, I'm the same way with my kids too. That Romo, you don't have any kids.
No, I don't.
But yeah, I'm the same way with my kids. Did he share? I'm assuming he saw the original Star Wars in the theaters.
Yes, both my parents remember like going to see Star Wars in theaters.
Yeah, did he have all the action figures and everything?
Not a lot of action figures, but he has like the original movie poster that's worth some money now, and he still has a bunch of just like cool stuff that he had gotten when it first came out.
Yeah, what I was going to say is I do have some of the original action figures back from the 70s.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah, and I don't let my son play. My son's only 9, but I don't let him play with them yet because he might break them. But what I was say is, did he ever let you touch any of his original stuff?
Yes, like he had a remote controlled R2-D2 that I was able to play with.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I would chase the cat around with it, and the cat hated it.
Yeah, and so besides, obviously, you're more of a gamer girl, I would say, right?
Yeah, definitely more, I guess, more a gamer. I mean, I have an apartment full of action figures. I love collecting action figures. I also do a lot of cosplay, but for me, gaming is not a hobby. It's very much my life. Yeah, definitely my lifestyle. It's my career. It's everything to me.
Yeah, same. Not about games, but the way we feel about all the movies, comic books, all the stuff we talk about on here. So again, we're talking to Raychul. She has a YouTube channel. It's linked up on our website on the link section. It's all on there. All her website, everything else, Twitter, Facebook, it's all on there, so you can find and follow her if you're not already. What have you been waiting for?
Girl Gone Geek.
Yeah. So was it harder for you? I imagine not, because I'm a little older than both you and Romo here. It was a little harder for me when I first started liking Star Wars and everything, because geek wasn't as cool back then as it is now. But
right.
But for you, was it a little harder just because you're a geek gamer and a girl?
I've never really, and I still have trouble like forming friendships with females. They're just they make me nervous and stuff. So in high school and junior high school and everything, I mainly had guy friends, and most of them were into video games and stuff. So for me, I hung out with them, and it wasn't too hard for me because, they had my back and stuff. I was never really cared about fitting in. I was definitely the loner in school.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you cosplay. When did you start getting into that, and how long have you been doing it?
Maybe about, I want to say maybe 4 to 5 years.
Huh.
I got started my first time at Comic-Con. Some friends were going to cosplay too, and they needed a girl for their group, and I was like, I'm totally down. And then I was hooked. It's so much fun.
Do you think it's defined you as a geek? I mean, kind of coming into being a geek?
Sometimes, just because for me, I like cosplaying as characters I want to represent and games I want to represent.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's much more personal. Like I know some cosplayers, they'll just pick a cute costume and they want to cosplay as it. But I definitely take my characters much more personal than that.
Yeah, because I've never cosplayed, and I want to. When we're going to go down for WonderCon in Anaheim, I'm going to make sure to cosplay and dress into some character that, that I care about, like what you just said. But, does it take a kind of like, you have to prepare for the role, I would say, like have that perfect costume that you expect no one will dress up as?
Yes and no, because with my costumes lately, I've been doing a lot of female versions of male characters because it gives me more of a creative freedom. Mm-hmm. So for me, I want to be able to represent that character as best I can in costume, but put my own flair to it, because anybody can look at a screenshot and replicate a costume. So when I do it, I try to make it as true as the character is supposed to be, but again, with my own little taste, my own little pizzazz. And I don't really have to prepare much for the character, since it is usually characters I already like. So I already know about them. I know their background, what games they're from, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot, actually, from WonderCon and Comic-Con. A lot of the gender bending, like I've seen your Thor on the YouTube page. And I've also saw, I think it was Kick-Ass we saw it at WonderCon, but it was actually a girl.
Yeah.
from the attendees, not from fellow cosplayers, do you get any negative reactions to that?
Not really. Usually people
I don't think
really
they do.
like it. Or they kind of, like with Thor, they'll be like, oh, you're female Thor. What are your powers? And I'm like,
I think guys
they're
would
the
think of it as a
same.
hotness as far as like, seeing a girl dress up as a superhero. I think that's kind of cool, Henry. Like, I mean, you'd probably take it the same way if you were to see a female Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I mean, well, I would have no problem with it. 'Cause like we've had the discussion on the air before. Most geeks and our geek culture, we're pretty accepting of anything.
I just thought of right now, I've never seen a male Princess Leia.
I've seen male Princess Peach and Princess Daisy from the Mario games. I've seen guys do that.
That's cool.
I think the most resistance I ever got from a costume was one of my first ones was Supergirl. And I have my belly button pierced. And I had so many people have a problem with the fact that I was dressed as Supergirl, but I had a piercing. Like, they're like, how could Supergirl have a belly button ring? Let her body dispose of it and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I'm just a chick in a costume.
Yeah.
I'm not actually Supergirl.
Yeah, those are what you call purists.
Yeah.
Who would do that. So again, we're talking to Raychul, her YouTube page. Everything is linked up on our link page up on Geek Speak Radio. Right now it's geekspeakradioshow.com, but like I said, a new website is coming up next week. Be on the lookout for that. You also mentioned, Raychul, you started collecting action figures. When did you start collecting the action figures and everything else? Because also on your YouTube, I have seen I'm assuming that's your new apartment. We do the tour, the video?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I was telling Romo, it looks like a museum, but it's definitely an apartment I would want to live in. So when did you start collecting all of those things?
Probably at the very, very beginning would be junior high school. I was already getting my collection together and be like, oh, when I move out, my house is going to be so awesome. And then going to conventions and then being able to buy stuff there. And then being part of Games Press, you get a whole lot of press items. Mm-hmm. And then I started getting those as well. And then my collection just kind of exploded.
Yeah. What is your most prized possession?
Definitely my Purba Dagger, the Purba Dagger replica, which is from Uncharted 2, which is one of my all-time favorite games.
I'm assuming that's something you cosplayed with, or you just got that?
Not yet. I am thinking of this year I will be doing a female Nathan Drake, and it's just getting a little difficult because it's hard to be a female Nathan Drake without looking like Lara Croft. Mm-hmm. But I got a few tricks up my sleeve, so we'll see how it works out.
Speaking of, let's ask you something. It could be considered a controversial question. Do you prefer Xbox 360 or PS3?
It really depends on the game. If I'm talking about first-party support, I'm going to have to go with PS3. But as far as the games I play and the Xbox Live, the way it's presented, I prefer the 360 over the PS3. But the PS3 has amazing first-party games that the Xbox just doesn't have.
Yeah. I would say it's definitely catching up. My answer, when people used to ask me, used to be the PS3 because back then I thought they had better games than Xbox, but they're pretty even now. They're catching up to each other now.
Well, plus I am such an achievements whore. It's ridiculous, and trophies just don't do it for me. But when I get that little bing on the Xbox and I got an achievement, it feels so good.
So besides collecting and playing games and everything else, what else does Raychul do?
I really don't have a life. I don't go out or go to parties or clubs or anything. And my day-to-day is basically playing video games, doing video game videos on YouTube, or going to like press events and doing videos for different sites there.
Do you write for different sites, or do you have a blog or anything like that?
I used to write a lot. Like I used to write for GamePro and EGM and Machinima, but lately I've gotten more into the video side of things. I love writing, but I definitely prefer video. It's just so much more fun, and it's easier to portray personality through video than it is writing.
Yeah, and like I said, we just kicked off our search for a Geek Girl co-host here on the show in the last segment. Now, I know, like you said, you've co-hosted a few things, and you host at the videos at conventions. What kind of advice would you give to any potential Geek Girl co-host that we could have on the show? I
usually try to tell girls to, of course, be themselves, but don't always feel like they have to conform to the best opinion. Like, I hate it when I'm watching a video game show or listening to a podcast and all the girl is doing is either agreeing with the popular decision or she's just repeating things that they already said. And it's like, you've got to have your own opinion, because nowadays people see through the whole Geek Girl act, yet they don't have anything new to add to a conversation or to add to any kind of discussion about video games. So definitely, let that geek flag fly.
Exactly.
Have an opinion.
See, I'm glad you said it, because that's exactly what we're looking for. That's the point I was trying to make earlier in the segment.
See, Olivia Munn, look what you've done to all the Geek Girls out there.
We were going to name names, but okay, he went there.
No.
People are starting to get smart on that stuff. If she's obviously reading a cue card or not, she can't wing a conversation about games, then it's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, when we started, I didn't say this on the air, but since you're on, we'll say it with you. When we were on holiday break and we decided, hey, let's get a Geek Girl co-host. That's the first thing I told them. I said, look, if we are going to do that, it's got to be somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. Like you said, it can't be a giggle girl just laughs at everything Romo or I would say. And if I say, hey, Star Wars is great, we can't just have her say, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I love Darth Vader.
I'd prefer if you said it sucked, because then we have some entertainment on there.
Yeah, exactly. Give reasons why it sucked or whatever.
The best answer is when a girl says they've never seen Star Wars. And then you're like, what? And then, of course, you got to spit some knowledge on them. And then, of course...
But then they never like it. Because I've had girlfriends before that never saw Star Wars. And I'll sit them down, make them watch the original trilogy only, and they'll still hate it. I'm like, how can you hate this? It's amazing.
Are they like, I don't get it?
Yeah, I know people also who haven't seen Star Wars. I even sat them down and we watched Empire. I mean, how can you not like Empire? And it was, it's not, that's okay.
Gosh.
Yeah, so there are those kind of people out there. But not any of us here, that's for sure. So where can we see, besides the conventions, where can we see Raychul in 2012, if you want to tease a few things?
I do have some new shows coming up. Like, I just started the Got Game News show. Yesterday was our first time live on Twitch TV. I mean, I keep forgetting they switched over to Twitch. And that I have super high hopes for. I have some new shows coming to my YouTube channel. And I also have a new show coming up with another geek girlfriend of mine. And I don't have too much news on that, but I will on my Twitter as soon as I get more news.
She can tell us, but then she'd have to kill us.
Yeah. And any convention? Can we see you at any conventions for this year?
Oh, yes. I'll definitely be at GDC. Still up in the air about WonderCon, because now it's going to be in Anaheim. Right. I wish it was back in San Francisco. Let's see. I'll definitely be at E3, and I'll almost absolutely be at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay, so...
And to anybody that says hi to me and recognizes me, I give free hugs. So if you want a hug from me, you have to say hi.
You take repeat customers?
I do. I always just feel bad when I'm at a convention and then like the next day I look on Twitter and people are like, oh, I saw you, but you looked busy, or I was too scared to say hi. And I'm super approachable, and I love the people on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. I love them. So I started offering hugs, and then people feel like they're more able to come say hi to me.
Yeah. Maybe we should do that. I mean, we've met a lot of our listeners too when we go to conventions, but we never thought of that.
All right, so I'll have a sign that says free hugs.
Yeah, then nobody will come for sure.
All right, well, hey.
No, so again, you heard it from Raychul. She's very approachable, just like she sounds right now. Just go say hi and get your free hug.
I will even try to strike up a conversation with you. I am really kind of awkward in person. It's weird. I don't know. I'm shy.
And, honestly, it goes both ways. I mean, people who are, and you know this, who love Star Wars, Star Trek, comic books, all that stuff. We're naturally shy anyway.
Yeah.
Just because we get a little defensive, because not it is a little cooler now, but not everybody accepts what we like. And so we're just naturally defensive and shy anyway. Mm-hmm. So always keep that in mind also, Raychul, when people go up to you, that they're probably a lot more shy and scared to actually go up to you. But like
and that's why I give them hugs.
Exactly. but like you said, it's easier because you're just going to be friendly at everybody.
Yeah.
So you can see her there. Not where you're going to be, but what movies, TV shows, anything, video games are you expecting, or are you really looking forward to in 2012?
My top video game I'm looking forward to this year is definitely BioShock Infinite. I love everything I've seen about it. I love BioShock 1 and 2, so Infinite is going to be amazing.
Okay. Any movies, anything else you're really looking forward to?
The new James Bond, although I heard that was kind of canned, but then I kind of heard it was coming back. So I love any James Bond, especially Daniel Craig is an excellent Bond. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is still on. It's going to be called Skyfall, and the villain is going to be Voldemort.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is he a Harry Potter guy?
Ray Fiennes is going to play the villain.
Yeah, I thought he was already in.
No, well, we're not getting too much out of it yet, obviously, but yeah, it is. The movie's still on. But yeah, I want to see what they're going to do with it. I agree with you. I do like Daniel Craig as 007.
He's great. Much better than Pierce Brosnan. Whoever thought he was a good Bond should have been fired.
Yeah.
The only role he was good in was in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in that. He was the
boyfriend.
douchey new husband guy. Yeah.
I was thinking Remington Steele, but okay. Okay, so again, Raychul, again, to prove to you guys, Geek Girls are real. They are out there. You're going to hear not just from Raychul, we'll have some more on as we go. Raychul, thanks a lot for coming on. You're welcome back anytime, and we'll probably see you out at the conventions also. We cover them now. Yeah,
definitely. If I go to WonderCon, I'll let you guys know. We'll have to meet up.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like I said, you're welcome back anytime to talk Geek Out or whatever you want to do, or if you want to break any news on here, you're more than welcome to.
Thanks. I'd love to be on anytime you guys need a female voice.
Okay. And again, all of you guys can follow her, see her videos. It's all on our links page, and you can link up to there and start following her.
Girl Gone Geek.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
So let's take a break.
No problem.
We'll be right back.
The Geek Speak Show will be back in a moment.
The Geek Speak Show is looking for the missing element, the Geek Girl's voice. Do you know the difference between Kim Kardashian and a Kardashian? Do you know that Han shot first? Use these and other amazing facts and discussions with the boys, and especially with all the awesome guests on the Geek Speak Show.
All you've got to do is send an email to geekgirl@thegeekspeakshow.com with a link to your YouTube page, or send us an MP3 where you explain why you should be our Geek Girl co-host. It'd be great if you're here in the San Francisco Bay Area so we can have you in studio, but we can Skype it if you're not. So if you're a Geek Girl, or if you know one, and you're ready to show your knowledge to the world, send an email to geekgirl@thegeekspeakshow.com with a link to your YouTube page or an MP3 telling us why you should be our Geek Girl co-host. We hope to have our Geek Girl co-host in place by March, just in time for WonderCon 2012.
In a perfect world, all the geeks get the girls.
Geek Out on the Geek Speak Show. Powered by Collider.com, Ramascreen.com, and GeekTyrant.com.
A lot of things that made us geek out over the holiday break, and here's a few of them. J.J. Abrams confirmed that he will return to direct Star Trek II, as will Roberto Orci, Alex Kurtzman, and Damon Lindelof. To produce, not direct. Michael Giacchino will also return to provide the music. The film has a release date of May 17th, 2013, with production starting on January 15th of this year. JJ said that he will film in 2D and maybe even in IMAX, and the movie will be post-converted to 3D. Benicio del Toro was in talks to play the main villain, with many on the interwebs thinking it would be Khan. Then Benicio backed out of the film, and Edgar Ramirez and Jordi Mola were in the running for the villain role. Last week, it was announced that Sherlock Holmes would be the main villain. No, not RDJ, but Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays Sherlock Holmes in the BBC series. He'll also be playing Smaug in a little movie about hobbits, so you can put all the Khan as the villain rumors to rest. But feel free to start the Trelane rumors. Speaking of hobbits, we got the first trailer for The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, as well as trailers for Men in Black 3, Wrath of the Titans, and The Dark Knight Rises. We also got the prologue to TDKR in IMAX theaters, which gave us our first look at Tom Hardy as Bane. There's been an outcry from fans about Bane's dialogue not being easy to understand. Christopher Nolan has said that he thinks it sounds fine and he won't re-record the dialogue. A report from an IMAX projectionist claimed that Warner Brothers had sent out a remixed audio track, but Warner Brothers has since denied sending out any new audio tracks. So how was your 2011? Probably not as good as it was for Paramount Pictures. They were the box office champ for 2011, bringing in $5.17 billion worldwide. Helped by movies like Transformers: Dark of the Moon, the Marvel movies, and the success of Rango, Paramount's first original animated film, they'll look to continue that dominance in 2012 with The Avengers, G.I. Joe Retaliation, and World War Z, among others. But they'll face some tough competition from Warner Brothers with The Dark Knight Rises and The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. Couple of more items from Paramount. First, to no one's surprise, Paranormal Activity 4 has been greenlit for an October 19th release. In news that is a little more surprising, Paramount also announced that they intend to make World War Z into a movie trilogy. With reports of the script making major changes from Max Brooks' novel, this bit of news won't make fans of the book rest any easier. Stanley's POW Entertainment has partnered with Liquid Artists to introduce an Indian superhero to the India comic book market. The story centers on a Mumbai teenage tech genius named Raju Rai, who develops an enhanced suit that activates mystical powers. Titled Chakra the Invincible, it will be released as a series of downloadable web and mobile comics with Stan's first digital comic story for Chakra, available as a free download in April. And finally, passes for WonderCon 2012 are on sale now. Head on over to WonderCon.org or to our link section and get your WonderCon 2012 passes. Remember that this year's WonderCon is in Anaheim, not in San Francisco.
That's the Geek Speak Show Geek Out. The Geek Out is powered by Collider.com, RamaScreen.com, and GeekTyrant.com. Just like a lot of people, we've dropped the radio. This is now the Geek Speak Show.
And there's another reminder for you in case you didn't know. WonderCon is in Anaheim this year.
Not in San Francisco, guys. Remember, not in San Francisco.
Yeah, you heard it from Raychul, from me, from David Glanzer last year, from Romo, from producer Damien, from everybody associated with the show. So you can't say we didn't tell you.
Yeah.
Because we just told you again. So that's a little recap of most of the stories that happened while we were on break.
That's a big geek out right there.
The biggest one, of course, is still going on, being that we're not going to do the show like this because people are going to complain that we can't understand.
What? I can't hear you.
Exactly. Now, Christopher Nolan, in Nolan we trust, in Nolan I trust. What happened to my Buam button? You guys took it away from me. You guys hit it from me.
Braun.
And not the same effect. But, Inception, Memento, Dark Knight,
of course,
Batman Begins,
yeah,
and Nolan we trust, of course. However, he's made me doubt him a little.
As far as his audio mixing goes?
Two things.
What is it?
One, no, you didn't go with it. You went to see it in regular Ghost Protocol. But producer Damon and I, we went to see it in IMAX. We've seen the prologue for The Dark Knight Rises, and I gotta say, it looks nice.
Oh, it looks really nice. I've seen clips of it.
Way too freaking loud.
You mean
that's saying something for me?
That means that, you're an audio guy, so that means that you just can't hear the dialogue, or that the explosions.
I gotta be honest with you. No, I gotta be honest with you. It's not just Bane. I can't understand anything that's going on with the actors in the scene.
Well, that scene, they were in a helicopter. In an airplane. So of course, that being it's on an airplane, it's gonna be loud,
but not that loud.
How loud was it?
Like this, a little small plane, one of those private Lear jets.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It sounds like this. The entire theater rumbles, but it doesn't stop. See, most mixers, audio mixers, the way they do it is
you'll dip it down.
They'll have that, but you'll have it low.
Yeah,
because you can hear the actors clearly. But here, not even that. It begins with them on the ground, and the wind is enhanced. The car noise is enhanced. Everything is enhanced, and it's just too damn loud.
That's what you call some high definition sound right there.
It's not. See, high definition means it's crystal clear, but it sounds everything is really distorted, and it hurts your ears. It really does.
How cool was it to see Bane though to come out?
Well, we've seen him before.
The trailer was so
fine.
Good.
But if you can, I'll go back to 4 years ago now. When the world first got its first look at Heath Ledger as the Joker, what made it great was
his dialogue,
the makeup, of course.
But what he said,
just one quick little line: "I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger."
Oh, in my case, stronger. But
and that's it.
So now, fast forward to now, what's the best line for Bane? Is this? I am Bane and I cannot understand what you're saying.
Well, no. the best line for Bane
Is what?
that we can understand is, and not in that one, but well, you went to see Ghost Protocol. I don't know if you got it there. Did you get the regular trailer?
Yeah, I did.
The regular trailer has one line that it sort of understands, but even that started some conversations on the interwebs and out here with us, and that is, when Gotham is ashes, you have my permission to die. We think he's saying when Gotham is ashes, you have my permission to die. Maybe he could be saying something else. He could be saying, "Hey, large cheese."
All we know is that with this
it.
movie, we're gonna have to watch it with the subtitles on.
But that's the first thing. The second thing that's got me a little worried about Christopher Nolan is that when Warner Brothers, when the studio went and told him, "Hey, they're complaining, fix it," he said, "It's fine, sounds fine to me. I'm not touching it."
His ego's in the way.
No. You saw him literally right in front of you at WarnerCon.
He's a smart dude.
He's not an egotistical Hollywood guy.
To me, kind of is, though, because he's Christopher Nolan. He's kind of, I think he's really cocky in the sense that he, amongst other directors, he knows he's the
You know that when you're good at something, you never do it for free. No, you know that when you're good at something,
you like to brag about it.
You don't have to brag about it.
Oh, in this case, Christopher Nolan, if you're listening, you don't have to brag about it like me. I thought you did.
He's never has bragged about it.
Well, he's one director, and I'm talking about like the whole movie industry. He's really underrated. He's always looked upon. He's never, the movie Galactica. Did he even get a award for it?
He never did Galactica.
Which one? Not Galactica. It was. Which one was it?
Gattaca,
yeah. I was thinking
Galactica is a video game. You're still thinking about Raychul. That's what you're probably.
That too, but and I just saw Battlestar Galactica. That's probably where it came from. But yeah. So, I mean, that was a good movie, really sci-fi. But he, at the same time, he's one of those directors like Inception. Everyone gets.
Well, again, like I said, that's what's
worrying
me about this thing. The other thing that in the trailer that you saw, the regular, not the IMAX prologue, but the actual trailer that also came out, is the very beginning scene. I mean, I tried to stay away from spoilers, but the websites that we use, Geek, Tyrant, Collider, Rama Screen, they love posting the spoilers, so sometimes I can't help but see it when it's right in my face.
Yeah.
And I knew that they were filming at Heinz Field. And that scene is in the trailer when the field just falls apart.
Yeah.
That looks fake and cartoony and so out of place in Christopher Nolan's Batman universe.
But it looks really good in...
No, that's got me worried.
Well, if he's listening, he's...
Oh, Henry doesn't like it, so I better change it. Yeah, that's going to happen. Sure. Anyway, so we also got trailers for The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. That
was good.
One, yeah, it's good. Tell me, did you ever see the cartoons? The Hobbit cartoon?
I didn't like that.
That's what this one made me think of when it started singing. A lot of people say, "Oh, it was haunting. It was that." All it made me think of was, you're not going to do a lot of singing, are you?" Because Peter Jackson in the first one, he did it fine. The road goes ever on. That's all you had, and then a couple of the Hobbits singing. That's it. That was fine.
But the other stuff was added.
Yeah, but in the cartoon, that's all. It's a musical. That's all it was. It's all everything is song. Where there's a will, there's a everything is a song. Yeah, stop singing. I got
just had the whole cast of Glee in the movie. Then
no, get out of my show. See again. See, you're still on Raychul. She mentioned Glee was at Comic-Con. That's probably the reaction they had at Comic-Con.
No,
get out of our
what
convention.
Was my treat is to watch all the production value videos on YouTube. The 10-minute behind the scenes.
Those are fine.
Filming, yeah.
But again, the trailers is what's supposed to sell you on these movies. Wrath of the Titans we also got.
I haven't seen that one yet.
All right, let's move on. And then we also got Men in Black 3.
I love it.
That one,
but it's not original. The storyline, I've already seen that before.
Well, it can't be original. It's a sequel.
Well, I mean, going back to the future or to an alternate universe or time.
No, it's just traveling back in time. It's not. JJ didn't do this. It's not an alternate universe. This is just time travel. You're going back and you meet an Agent K. I must say, however,
it looks exactly like
and sounds
Tommy
like
Lee.
him.
Yeah,
Tommy Lee Jones. But I think I mentioned this last year when we were talking about the things we're looking forward to this year.
What is it?
Is there really still that much excitement about Men in Black? It's been a while since we saw them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just nice to see it, but I think it should have came out last year in 2011 because you can't compete with all the movies that are going to be coming out this year. I mean, you got the Avengers. Come on, finally we get the Avengers.
Yeah, so there was that.
Did you see the trailer for it?
What? The Avengers? It's most downloaded one. I was one of those downloads like 23 times.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, that's an obvious. I've always, no secret, I've always been the Marvel guy here. Spidey, of course, but everything Marvel, I'm there. So yeah, of course I'm going to be there. Love Captain America, love Thor. Surprisingly love Thor.
What about Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible? I know it came out when we were off the air.
Phenomenal movie. Not very geeky. It's more action oriented than sci-fi action or horror, but loved it.
Sherlock Holmes?
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
But again, that one's not that geeky either.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it shouldn't be. It should be a mystery, but it's more of an action now, the way they're making Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, I think we talked with Nicholas Meyer about this.
Mm-hmm.
Only on this kind of show can you say, yeah, we talked to Nicholas Meyer about Sherlock Holmes not being an action adventure. But yeah, Ghost Protocol, I did like it a lot. It was Brad Bird's first live action film. It did a phenomenal
He did a good job. Yeah.
Yes. And my gauge on action movies is how my son reacts, because he's a 9-year-old boy. When you're a 9-year-old boy, you love action. If it slows down too much, you start getting bored. He was riveted to the screen the whole time.
The sandstorm was the best part, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and the buy scene,
climbing the wall, the building.
Yeah,
we've seen it in the trailer, but when you actually see the whole scene, that was good.
Yeah,
and Simon Pegg. I think I mentioned this before on the air, but I found him a little annoying as Scotty. Mm-hmm. He was too funny. Scotty wasn't that funny, and this one he was fine. He was perfect.
And we got to see a little bit of Black Hawk. I mean, no, what am I saying? Black Hawk. I mean,
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. Yeah.
You're thinking DC, not Marvel.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Jeremy Renner, I liked him in his role. Kind of a preview, not of Hawkeye, but he's going to be in the Bourne movies, the Bourne Identity movies.
Mm-hmm.
We got a picture of that on Geek Tyrant. You guys go on there and you'll see it. But I think it was a hint of things to come for the Bourne series. What else happened? Not going to do too much TV talk because everything is on break, like we were. Did you see, since we weren't on the air did you get to see the finale for Walking Dead?
Yeah, it took me for a surprise at the end. And I kind of had a feeling that, I mean, we all have seen, everyone that's listening, the last episode, so there's no spoiler here, that the little girl was a zombie in the end. And I was suspecting that she was being held captive, or that the old man was some psycho and had her tied up in the basement.
You gotta warn people. Believe it or not, there may be some people that still haven't seen it.
Well, if they haven't,
so rewind that.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Okay, now tell them who died and all that stuff.
All right, so for like six episodes, they've been looking for one of the, I forget her name. Sophia, yeah. Well, in the end, we all find out that she's a zombie. She's been a zombie since she ran away. I guess she must have ran to the farm when she was running away from another zombie, right?
Or it was pretty close to the area where they were.
But I don't understand why the old man didn't know that she was there to begin with. That she ended up going to the house. I mean, did she just go straight to the barn and then they were there and then she got bitten? I mean,
I'll be honest with you. I like the fact that they didn't explain that, because it causes someone like you
to wait for the next season.
To think. Yeah, to think about it. And it's because he didn't trust them already. I mean, he knew that that group, for obvious reasons, they don't think of walkers as still human. I mean, you saw Shane prove it at the end. Hey, look, would a live person walk away from that?
No, it wouldn't. But
let me ask you this also, to quote producer Damien over there, and he's still producing. Otherwise, he would have jumped in. I don't think he's heard us talking about Walking Dead.
Some video games.
Have you? It kind of don't want to go too Twilight with this thing. Team Jacob, Team what's the other guy's name? The sparkly vampire.
Jacob and
don't want to do that. Don't want to go into that territory here. But are you Team Shane or Team Rick? Oh,
I hate Shane. I think Shane is an annoying. He's psycho. He's psycho, dude. I mean, I think that they built a really great villain, and they could develop some more with that character and the dynamic between both of them. But I'm Team Rick all the way.
Shane, yeah, you're supposed to hate him, but you can't help but root for the guy, especially the way the actor plays him.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. But at the same time, this is a reality to them. He does a great job in selling it too. I mean, survival of the fittest. Are we going to be, sitting around and trying to make friends
Sing
with everyone.
kumbaya?
Yeah, make friends with everyone, or are you just gonna have
Or
to
just go for
survive?
brain shots.
And go for brain shots.
You know what Romo's gonna do? I'll go for brain shots.
Yeah.
Remember that scene in the remake for Day of the Dead?
Mm-hmm.
Where Ving Rhames is playing that game with the I forget the guy's name across the roof, and they're just going for brain shots so you can get the most.
Yeah,
That's probably what Romo would do if we ever when we go through the zombie apocalypse.
It'll be like Zombieland. I'll be
Running away screaming.
No, I won't be like.
No, that would be producer Damien.
No, I'll be yippee-ki-yay with the shotgun on top of my Hummer or truck at this time and just running over.
I think you just gave somebody in Hollywood an idea.
What? Bruce Willis in a zombie movie?
Die Hard with zombies.
That'd be good. That's original.
Look at everybody out there going, yeah. So what else? What else was on break? Terra Nova went on break. Did you see that season finale?
Terra Nova. Yeah, I did. Pretty impressive. I
know you were. It was kind of losing you towards the middle.
I mean, it was kind of. I liked that. The T-Rex, right? I guess it's the Badlands, right?
Yeah, and it's not a T-Rex. It's a Carno. I know because my son's there to give me all the names of the dinosaurs.
Well, I mean, how they destroyed the portal, but there's another portal somewhere else in the Badlands. I mean, just the story developed. It was kind of interesting, but I mean, I don't know. I'm still. What can you do? It's dinosaurs. You gotta like it.
I like it because I realized I actually care about the characters. I was worrying that they were going to kill off somebody, whether it would be Commander Taylor or not Rick. What's his? I forgot their names. Everybody's on break. I keep forgetting all these. That's why you guys should the TV networks. That's why you shouldn't put these shows on break. I forget the plots, the storylines. With Santa Claus and New Year's and all the parties and family. You forget what the heck happened in the alternate universe.
That's Fringe.
Yeah. Coming back next
and I forgot
week.
about when we just off the air. We forgot about what happened on the last episode. I mean, it's coming back next week.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I remember when I was a little kid, TV shows used to go straight through. Then they had their summer break. You may get some reruns, but you had your summer break, and then it came back again with the next season. Now
you have 2 breaks, fall break,
and I loved it. Still the greatest show on television. Not an opinion. It's a fact. Lost. I blame Lost for that. ABC, I should say. More than Lost, but they were guilty of having these huge breaks, and then they wondered, why are the ratings going down? Because people forgot it was even on. They forgot what the storyline was before.
Yeah,
they were lost, literally in the plot. So that and I've mentioned it many times before. That's why I don't like it when baseball comes to Fox, because then they got to break my Fringe up again.
Yeah,
and then it comes back. You get one episode. Oh, we're going on break now.
I forgot what the last episode of Fringe was until you remembered until. You told me that Olivia got. Well, I can say it's not a spoiler, right?
You got to make me pull up this thing again. Hold on. There are some people who have not seen it yet, believe it or not.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Okay, go ahead, tell him. Olivia died.
No, she didn't. Well, she gets injected with some needle, and then she passes out.
Those people going, what?
But we find out who the villain is in this reality, and that is Nina.
Well, maybe.
Well, she has to be the villain. I mean, who
How do you know
would?
she's not doing it for her protection? I guess we'll find out this Friday.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot.
Perfect. Friday the 13th, Fringe returns.
There's a lot of good. With this break, there's a lot of good questions that it made me think of as far as, what's going to happen when they return.
So, not too many things. They're slowly going to come back. Plus, next Monday, Alcatraz starts also. I want to see what that's all about. 2-hour premiere on Fox at 8 o'clock on the 16th. Friday, I think I'm going to have it on Fox all weekend because Friday the 13th, this coming Friday is Fringe Friday. Again, we start up Fringe Fridays. Yes, I'll start tweeting about it. Saturday and Sunday, NFC playoffs. My Packers will finally start playing again. Your 49ers, believe it or not, will actually be playing also. Then Monday, leave it on Fox. Alcatraz, 2-hour premiere.
Yeah.
With Hurley. Hurley's back on TV.
That's great.
I do not want to watch that. So that TV talk will start it up again as the shows start again. Obviously, not too much to talk about. Those are some of the stories that happened during the break. Welcome again to Geek Tyrant, our new content provider. Collider's there, like they've been from the beginning. Rama Screen is also there. He was our new one last year, but everybody's there. We'll have some video game stuff. Game Tyrant also has a site called Game Tyrant, talks about video games, so we'll probably get some stories from there. And we rambled a little bit, but hey, it's what geeks do. Later on in the future, Not like 20 years from now, but in future episodes this year, we'll have some guests. Probably some of the guys from Geek Tyrant, from Collider, from Rama Scream. We'll have Rama on, and some other people, some other guests, like we had Raychul earlier.
Yeah.
Come on and talk about video games. Some of the stories that we talk about. We'll have some people do TV talk with us. You guys want to jump in? You can. We'll call you up. Believe it or not. Send us an email. You can send one to me or to Romo. Send it to Henry at thegeekspeakshow.com or Romo at thegeekspeakshow.com and say, hey, did you guys hear this story? I like this story. Comment on the stories, and if you're good enough, maybe we'll call you and have you on one of these segments. Mm-hmm. How about that? Told you it was your show.
Yeah.
Because, I don't want to just Romo and Henry talk all the time. I get tired of talking anyway. So, let me take a quick little break. You have it. I saw you bring your bag in. Book Club is also back.
Yeah,
so let's do that. Let's go get our books, and we'll tell them what the Book Club selections are.
The Geek Speak Show will be back in a moment.
The Geek Speak Show can be found on the web at thegeekspeakshow.com. Learn more about Henry and Romo. Find links to the guests, content providers, sponsors, and more. You'll also find the Geek Speak Show book club and links to the show's social pages. Oh yeah, the contest page is there too. I mean, you want free stuff, right? Go to thegeekspeakshow.com and mark it on your browser. You'll thank us later. Thegeekspeakshow.com, the official page of the Geek Speak Show.
And now here's the Geek Speak Show book club. Here's Henry and Romo.
That would be us. Welcome back to the Geek Speak Show formerly known as the Geek Speak Radio Show. Although, yes, we're there on the website for this week. But keep watching because there will be a new website next week. Attention, there will be a new website next week. We'll tell you what it is. But for right now, let's do the book club. And surprise, surprise.
I have a book. Great way to bring in the new year.
Yes. Bye.
Yippee.
Can't you hear the excitement in his voice?
No, I've been really excited about this book because I've been having my eye on this one.
Yeah, we can tell.
Well, my mechanical eye, because it's about George Lucas and he loves technology. Hint, hint. This is what the book's about. Droid Maker, George Lucas and the Digital Revolution by Michael Rubin or Mike Rubin. And if you don't know,
now you know.
Now you know. But he's a former employee.
Wait, before you start, I gotta say, like you guys say, your generation says, I gotta give you props. There's a huge not paperback, but a huge hardcover book. It's almost like telephone size page, and you read it, all of it, nonstop.
I know, right? But it's Star Wars, and it's good because it gives you. Well, Mike Rubin, he wrote the book, and he was a former employee of Lucasfilms, and he gives his personal view of Lucas's obsession with technology. Now, if you want to know why George Lucas has been obsessed with everything being CG for all his newer films, now you know. Now, I don't know about this, but it explains why George Lucas is all obsessed with converting all his his old films into 3D to make it new. But his obsession with technology and especially just the direction George Lucas is at and where he's trying to take Star Trek.
Yeah, we didn't
not Star Wars.
we didn't mention that, but starting with the Phantom Menace, or as you say, the Phantom of the Menace,
the Jar Jar Binks Menace.
Yeah, it's coming in 3D. So is Titanic. We got to see Tintin, Steven Spielberg's Tintin, and we got the trailer for 3D Titanic.
Yeah, I know.
We'll probably do a show just on that, and if you guys have any thoughts on that, I know you do. Henry at thegeekspeakshow.com. Send me. I'll read them on the air, and we'll share with everybody else.
Good. I think it'll be a good show. I think it'll be a really good show.
So that's your book. What is it called again?
It's called
Droid Man.
It's called Droid Maker, George Lucas and the Digital Revolution.
Okay, there you go. So that's like I said, a big book. Proud of Romo. He actually read it all the way through, nonstop. He was, we were having our meetings here, and when we broke for pizza, he's still reading it.
It's good. Gotta read.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. Like I said, like you said, I guess it kind of explains why he's so obsessed with like changing all the Blu-ray stuff and the 3D and just being at the forefront of technology.
Yeah, the cutting edge. I mean,
so he thinks.
You don't think so?
Releasing the same movies in 3D. I mean, at least do something new. I mean, you could have released Red Tails in 3D. I know you're only the producer, but still.
Yeah, that's true.
So my first pick for 2012, Skullduggery Pleasant, Playing with Fire. You guys, you hear it all the time. I seem to always, probably because I take my kids, I seem to find a lot of really, really good YA novels, young adult novels. I found the Last Apprentice series. Love it. And this was in that section also. It's how would I describe it? It's not really horror. It's not really mystery. It's a combination of comedy, horror, fantasy, black magic, all rolled into one. Skullduggery Pleasant. This is actually kind of like with The Last Apprentice also.
Yeah.
Remember, I started with the second one, and then I had to go and find the first one. This is also the second in a series. It's going to be 9 books. I think they're on the 7th right now, or about the 7th is about to be released this year. But the first one was called Skullduggery Pleasant, later changed to something else, the Scepter of something. I just call it Skullduggery Pleasant. Skullduggery is a detective. You're going to think Ghost Rider, because imagine Ghost Rider, and I don't want to compare it to that, but imagine Ghost Rider wearing a fedora and a trench coat.
Yeah.
And he has the ability to create fire out of thin air, throw it. He can also use magic. That's Skullduggery Pleasant.
I was thinking The Sorcerer's Apprentice. And, well, actually, I was just thinking Nicolas Cage right there.
Yeah. Ghost Rider, like I said. But Skullduggery Pleasant, actually, he's a wisecracking detective.
Yeah.
Who looks like a skeleton. They call him the Skeleton Detective, in fact.
Now, do you think that book right there you're going to describe is going to be could be turned into a movie?
Probably, because the author Derek Landy, he's written some scripts for smaller movies, but if it does, then you know who to write it.
Yeah.
So Derek Landy, like I said, this is a series of books, Skullduggery Pleasant. He also has a sidekick, a little girl, 13-year-old girl, who she has a different name, but she calls herself Valkyrie Kane. Mm-hmm. That's her code name, and it deals with them battling black magic and evil sorcerers, and it reminded me, when I was reading the book, it reminded me a lot of I don't know if you remember. You may remember the movie more than the book, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, I do.
Sean Connery's last movie.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of that. It has that feel to it, where it's a little over the top, but it was still a kind of cool movie.
Yeah.
So again, it's called Skullduggery Pleasant, Playing with Fire. That is my pick for 2012, the first book. Now, you all out there can suggest your books. What is it called? Books at thegeekspeakshow.com. Make it easy for you. Books at thegeekspeakshow.com. What do you get if you send a suggestion?
What is it?
Thank you. And we also may feature your book as one of the picks. We'll say your name on the air. And if possible, we'll talk to the authors, the writer of the book or books that you suggest, if they're living. Because, you can't suggest J.R.R. Tolkien. You can suggest Lord of the Rings or the Narnia books. Without a seance, we're not going to be able to talk to Tolkien.
But they also have to be geeky, though. No love novels, no Twilight. Horror, sci-fi, fantasy, kind of like an autobiography or biography, kind of like the one that Romo read, Jordan Maker. If it's a biography of Stan Lee, George Lucas, the films of George Lucas, the films of Steven Spielberg, Peter Jackson, things like that. I was going to ask you this from last year, because there's a lot of these books coming out. Matter of fact, one of the last interviews we did last year was with Brian Selznick, and he wrote a sort of behind-the-scenes making of Hugo. Should we include those in those kind of books in this? Yeah, I mean, it tells us a different perspective of the movie. And
it lets us geeks peek behind the curtain and look at the wizard.
I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, with Star Trek, Star Wars, I mean, there's so many post books about just the life that went into it.
Yeah. So, okay, any of those. So, again, if you have any suggestions, yes, I did see your suggestions for Ready Player One. That is coming. I'm actually in the middle of it as we speak, so we will feature that one. And maybe, just maybe, speak to the writer. Really? Yeah, really. We'll see.
That'd be cool.
So, books at thegeekspeakshow.com. Books at thegeekspeakshow.com. Any book you want to suggest. No graphic novels, no comic books. We're going to do something different with that. As a matter of fact, we'll do it right now, because guess who's also back for 2012?
David Lee.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our next attraction,
Comics Commentary with David Lee on the Geek Speak Show.
Hola, we are here. Welcome back to the Geek Speak Show. Yes, he is back also with us. David, hello.
Hey, welcome back to the first official comics commentary of this year. However, we're going to go ahead and flip the script a little bit different, I believe.
Yeah, just a little bit. He'll do a regular comics commentary next week. We'll start doing the regular thing. Kind of like the TV shows we were talking about earlier. Everybody's on break, and they're slowly coming back.
And he's on break.
Same thing with David Lee and with us. Not the best of shows that we've done, but we try.
Yeah.
We're back. Getting
It's the first of the year.
Yeah, getting there over our eggnog hangovers.
Eggnog.
He said egg. So,
I like
yes,
that
I
one.
did.
let's talk. Let's do. We did your last not recap. Your last commentary was a recap of 2011. So now let's do the opposite. How about what we're looking forward to in the 2012?
I'm down with that.
So what are you looking forward to? I kind of hinted that obviously I've been looking forward to Dark Knight Rises for a while.
Meh.
So actually, let's kind of start with that one and talk about the trailers and the IMAX prologue.
Yeah, I really like that movie. I think it's great. Did you get that?
When Geek Speak is done, I'll give you permission to dance.
That's about what it sounded like, too.
Yeah. Did you get to see the prologue in IMAX?
I did not get to see the prologue. However, I have read numerous reports about it. And after seeing the less than appealing trailer with Bane and his Uber smoker's cough, I'm not entirely convinced that I'm digging this movie.
So you didn't like the trailer at all, even with the football field blowing up.
I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, watching that football field go, and I'm sitting there going, fall, you son of a bitch, fall. And he saved it. That was really cool. I liked the introduction of the Batwing. Barely seeing just a little bit of Selena Kyle. Not Catwoman, Selena Kyle. And I'm going, wow.
Well, the prologue shows you Catwoman.
Really, it does?
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to have to catch that at some point. Maybe somebody's got it on YouTube.
But I think it was you.
They don't.
Well, I think it was you actually, David, who mentioned last year that the costume that you have seen in Mixer looked like Catwoman, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, that was pretty much what I was saying.
Yeah, in this one
it does.
In this one, it really does. The one in the prologue is first of all big, huge screen.
Yeah, I've seen it on the network, on the internet, as far as like pictures flying around of actually that scene when they're at the football field. For a second, I thought it was the Avengers. I thought it was like, oh, the Avengers are assembling, but no, it was Catwoman.
No, but I was saying earlier, the main thing that's bothering me about this stuff is the fact that I did see it in the IMAX, the prologue. It is just way too loud. It made my ears hurt, quite honestly. And it's not just Bane. I couldn't understand anybody's dialogue.
Ouch, that's no good. Well, if that's the case, that's a strike down against it right there.
Yeah, I've seen it twice now, actually. I've seen Ghost Prodigal twice in IMAX, and both times I did get the trailer, and both times it was just loud. I thought the first time I was just too excited to see it, and it was just me. Yeah. But the second time, I can't understand anything. Not the actors, nothing. It's not just Bane.
Well, I mean, the truth told, this movie is starting to get way too many black marks, in my opinion. You've got Bane, who's all blah, blah, blah. We don't know what the hell he's saying half the time. Selena Kyle kind of looks really underrated. Catwoman, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. once again. And then you have Christopher Nolan coming out in the news and saying, no, I'm not going to change his voice no matter what the complaints. This is what it's supposed to be.
That's what's worrying me too.
Way to alienate your viewers, Nolan, you dumbass. What's wrong with you? You know, that movie's going to probably... I don't know. I mean, I'll see it in the movie theaters. I'm pretty sure no matter what I say now, so don't quote me on that one. But if it doesn't change, I may pass. And that'll be the first time for a Nolan movie like that I pass.
Right now, I can definitely say I will pass on IMAX. That's for sure.
We don't even have an IMAX around here where I live, so...
So you have no choice but to pass on IMAX.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we're going to pass! Oh, we have to. Son of a...
Yeah, so that was obviously the biggest one. The other one, we got a lot of Star Trek news on that. I don't know if you saw any of those or not, David.
I'm trying to keep out of it because I love the first Star Trek, and I just don't want to get inevitably disappointed.
Now, why is that?
Know? Because I really, really, really loved the relaunch of Star Trek, and I loved how they tied it into the original series, like the whole different like dimension, what have you, time travel, all that gadget. It was really good, and with that one, J.J. Abrams made Lightning Strike, with that movie being that successful, I don't know, man.
I mean, he also brought back Leonard Nimoy. Yeah, that's a tongue. But to bring back Spock, the original
William
Spock,
Bell.
Yeah, William Bell. There we go. That's my language. To bring back William Bell, I mean that was a plus. But with this one, with Star Trek 2, I have a feeling they're probably going to want to bring back Captain Kirk, the old version of him.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how they're going to be able to do that. So,
what would you like to? Where would you like to see them take this franchise?
Truth told, I want to see something completely different than what we've seen before, except for one particular movie. I want to see them bring out the Borg in this new movie. I really do, because the Borg have always been, they've always been one of the biggest Trek villains that I can remember. And hell, I even got a little plot cooked up in my head just from saying that. Perhaps the Borg come back from the future, just like Spock did. They figure, okay, well, Picard and the rest of the Enterprise D crew, it's either D or E, one of the two. They turn around, D? Okay. They turn around, they kicked our rear ends into the next galaxy more times over. You know, they actually successfully retrieved Locutus of Borg and returned him to Captain Picard. Instead of constantly getting our rear ends handed to us by Starfleet, why don't we just go back to its infancy?
Take him out there.
Exactly.
Taking notes, Damon Lindelof?
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. You really could. And with technology the way it is these days, and with the makeup advances as of now as opposed to like 92 when they did it, dude, the Borg could look friggin' scary. Yeah. Which would really, really lend into it.
Okay, so we're not going to talk too much Star Trek. We do have a villain. It is, I forget his name, but he plays Sherlock Holmes in the BBC series. That's the new villain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so obviously it won't be Khan. Thank you. I was waiting for somebody to do it. But the other big trailer we got was The Hobbit. What'd you think of that one, if you saw it?
Didn't see it.
What?
Truth told, I'm Tolkien'd out. After the way they pushed Lord of the Rings over the last 5 to 6 years, the very beginning of the 2000s, that was way more than enough for me. And now they're bringing up The Hobbit. They're doing The Hobbit, which I know I'll see. So I will see. You're
pretty much tired of Middle Earth right now, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. No. Y'all, to quote, I can't remember, a Mel Brooks movie, you nuts. NVTS nuts.
Yeah, well, okay, so then we'll skip the trip to Middle Earth. And let's get away from movies for a bit. Another thing, obviously, comics. What are you expecting, especially, I want to hear this from you, especially, what do you expect out of the New 52 now that it's going into its second year?
New 52, comics-wise, I'm actually looking to see if they're going to confirm or deny my hypothesis of it being like Countdown, the 52 comic, or the other one that they did, Infinite Crisis. Or no, it wasn't Infinite Crisis. The new 50. I can't remember at this point. Where it was like a weekly comic for each one of them, and then it stopped, and then they brought it back to the original. Because, I mean, if they did that, that would be very ballsy and very interesting. Like, you know, they're running it like, this is the new 52. This is the way it's going to be. And then at the end of 52 weeks, all of a sudden all the original heroes come back, and then all of a sudden we find out, oh, yeah, it was a giant Elseworlds tale. That would be funny. If that's not the case, if they actually don't go through with that, I'm actually looking forward to seeing titles like Batman, Detective Comics, Superman, and especially Green Lantern and Resurrection Man to really shine and come out and actually show off as the standout titles. Resurrection Man, yeah, it's kind of a B title, but that comic has always been constantly great in my eyes. I'd read Resurrection Man way before I'd read Supergirl.
You think DC would go back to, like you said, go back to the originals, no matter how successful the New 52s have been?
my logic and my brain says no. They've got the moneymaker right now. Why should they? But there's always been that not so quiet minority, the very vocal minority that have said, hey, we want the heroes we remember back, not this armored Superman and armored Flash and armored Green Lantern. No, we want these new ones back. We want our originals back. But at the same time, money talks. It really does.
Something else you like? What about video games? What are you expecting big for 2012?
In video games? Oh, man, that's a big one. I'm actually really, really expecting a very explosive ending to the Mass Effect series because that's coming out in May. Another game I'm really looking forward to is The Old Republic for Star Wars. I really want to see how that plays out, actually. Star Wars The Old Republic pretty much takes everything that Star Wars Galaxies did that was good and bad, chucks it out the window. If anybody, Henry Romo and our listeners out there, if you guys have played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, it's basically Knights of the Old Republic except a giant MMO. And it's much, much more customizable. And there is a story, a very good story. I've been playing it for the last week maybe. And, the customization between Jedi, Sith, Smuggler, Trooper, Imperial Agent, it's so broad and so in-depth. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where that one's going. DC Universe Online, they really need to start putting out some serious numbers and some serious good quality work. Otherwise, they're going to fold very quickly. They're putting out expansions here and there, but it's not enough. It's really not. Even with the free-to-play, it's boring. I got tired of it within a week of coming back. It's like, yeah, okay, next. What else games would there be? Halo's coming out sometime this year. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how the Master Chief and Cortana play out in this new series and what's going on, because it's been said that with Halo 4, it's going to be a new trilogy. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what the Chief and Cortana have in store for us. That's really all I can think about on the video games themselves. Game platforms, I'm looking forward to the PlayStation Vita. That one's going to be really interesting because it has the same engine as a PlayStation 3. It's like a little mini tablet, really. And everything has become digital content. I don't think there's a UMD drive in the back of it. So Sony's really pushing towards the digital content, which really helps if you've got the money for that little SD card. And most of the kids out there are going to be like, Mom, Dad, give me a PlayStation Vita. And they'll be like, okay. And then they'll start shelling out for those SD cards because those downloads are going to be pretty big.
It's a quick preview of what we're looking for in 2012, mainly David Lee, what he's looking for. So we're going to keep it short. Like I said, next week he will do a regular comics commentary. You have any idea what it's going to be, or you want to just not tell him?
I'm going to surprise the viewers. Or viewers, listeners, you get the idea. Use your imaginations.
Basically what it means is he has no clue. He'll come up with something during the week.
I was trying to keep it PC, but there is that.
Okay, so again, David Lee, he's back. Everybody's back. Welcome back to 2012 to the Geek Speak Show. Thanks, David. We'll talk to you next week when you will do your regular commentary.
I will be around.
The Geek Speak Show will be right back.
The Geek Speak Show can be found on the web at thegeekspeakshow.com. Learn more about Henry and Romo. Find links to the guests, content providers, sponsors, and more. You'll also find the Geek Speak Show book club and links to the show's social pages. Oh yeah, the contest page is there too. I mean, you want free stuff, right? Go to thegeekspeakshow.com and mark it on your browser. You'll thank us later. Thegeekspeakshow.com, the official page of the Geek Speak Show.
The Geek Speak Show is looking for the missing element, the Geek Girl's voice. Do you know the difference between Kim Kardashian and a Kardashian? Do you know that Han shot first? Use these and other amazing facts and discussions with the boys, and especially with all the awesome guests on the Geek Speak Show.
All you've got to do is send an email to geekgirl@thegeekspeakshow.com with a link to your YouTube page, or send us an MP3 where you explain why you should be our Geek Girl co-host. It'd be great if you're here in the San Francisco Bay Area so we can have you in studio, but we can Skype it if you're not. So if you're a Geek Girl, or if you know one, and you're ready to show your knowledge to the world, send an email to geekgirl@thegeekspeakshow.com with a link to your YouTube page or an MP3 telling us why you should be our Geek Girl co-host. We hope to have our Geek Girl co-host in place by March, just in time for WonderCon 2012.
In a perfect world, all the geeks get the girls.
People who get it, get it. This is now the Geek Speak Show.
Please make a note of it.
Yes, it is now the Geek Speak Show, the show formerly known as the Geek Speak Radio Show, although we're still on the same website, the geekspeakradioshow.com website. That will go away pretty soon, actually. I will let you know exactly when that happens. Keep watching our Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. I will tweet it all on there for you guys. So, good show, good start. Thanks again to Raychul for coming on from Girl Gone Geek, her YouTube channel. It's linked up in our link section. You can go on there, follow her on Twitter, check out her Facebook, check out her videos, her cosplay photos, everything that's on there. Get to know all about Raychul if you don't know about her already, and you'll probably hear from her again. Next big thing, don't forget we're looking for a co-host, Geek Girl co-host. What do? All you got to do is send us either an MP3 saying, hey, it's me, your name, of course, and tell us what qualifies you to be a Geek Girl. Why should we pick you to be our Geek Girl co-host? Or you can send us a link to your YouTube page if you have something kind of like what Raychul has. You can do that, and we will contact you and try you out, and you could probably be part of the Geek Speak Show staff for 2012. Again, you don't have to be, it'd be nice if you were over here in the San Francisco Bay Area, but you don't have to be here. You don't even have to be here in California, or quite honestly, not even here in the United States. Hint, hint. It would be nice if you were here with us in studio, not just so we can see you and get to know you, but also so you can enjoy all the perks that come with the show. I mean, like free movies. You get treated as press at WonderCon, at Comic-Con, at conventions. You get some very cool, awesome events here in local Bay Area museums and special geek events, comic book openings. Free comic book day is another big thing that we do. We're going to do it again this year. We'll cover it. So things like that. It would be nice if you were here, of course. But if you're not, that's fine. We have Skype here. We can Skype you, and it'll sound like you're here with us. So send all that stuff. Send all your stuff to geekgirl@thegeekspeakshow.com if you are a Geek Girl. Or if you know one, go ahead and send it to geekgirl@thegeekspeakshow.com. We hope to have a new Geek Girl co-host in place by March, by WonderCon. She'll probably make her debut there at WonderCon. That's it for next week. Romo, he's not being quiet. He's just not here. He actually had to go and take care of something really quick, so he bowed out right after we finished with David Lee a second ago. Romo will be back, so will David Lee. I'll be back, of course. Make sure you are. What will we talk about? Well, of course, geek culture. What else? Have you guys ever heard of a little movie called Raiders of the Lost Ark? You remember last year we talked to Jamie Benning in the UK, who actually did he called it at the time a fanumentary called Star Wars Begins. Is all behind the scenes of Star Wars, Empire, and Return of the Jedi. It was fantastically done. I don't know why they didn't include it in the Blu-ray, but that's another thing. He did another one. He was taking some suggestions, and he hinted that he may do Raiders. Well, he did. It's done. It's called Raiding the Lost Ark. It is just as great, if not better, than the Star Wars Begins fanumentary. We'll talk to Jamie next week about that. We'll also talk to, here in San Francisco again, going with what I told you guys, the Geek Girl co-host. This is what you get to enjoy. There's a museum here that used to be called the Museum. Everybody remembers it as that bit. It did change its name just like we did. We go to the Geek Speak Show. They go from Museum to the Children's Creativity Museum. And they have something called the Innovation Lab is there. It's become a big hit. And so we'll have somebody coming on to talk about that to get you, to entice you to go check it out if you haven't already, if you're in the Bay Area. Plus, we may have some more surprises for you, so just be right there. Again, be on the lookout for the new website, thegeekspeakshow.com. Brand new website. Keep watching our Facebook, our Twitter. I will let you all know. But in the meantime, bookmark us, and we'll see you next week.
That's it for this week. Come back next week for an all-new episode of the Geek Speak Show. In the meantime, follow them on Twitter, find them on Facebook, subscribe in iTunes, and listen to past shows and special features on the Geek Speak Show YouTube page. YouTube.com/GeekSpeakVideos. We'll see you next week. Tell your friends about the Geek Speak Show. The Geek Speak Show.